Hi, I'm Annie. I'm the founder of Wild Maven Wellness, and I host gatherings here in Baltimore on the full moon and the dark moon, which is also called the new moon, every month. But I also like to put out content and practices that you can use wherever you are if you're not able to join us in person. So the tarot spread that we're about to do is for the dark harvest moon, which is coming up on September 2nd. You could do it anytime. I wanted something really beginner friendly, so we're going to do a 3-card spread today. And 3-card spreads are nice because you're not being totally overwhelmed by a million cards. But it also adds like a few layers. So you could do 1 card, 2 cards, or 3 cards. I'm going to show you the 3-card version. You can make it your own. If you're a beginner and you don't have a deck of your own, you could also use an oracle deck for this spread. You could borrow one from a friend and do it with them. And there's also the Labyrinthos app is really nice. I'll link to it in the description. They have the free version has a couple of different decks that you can try. You can read articles. They'll pull cards for you and help with interpretation as well. But we're also going to talk about the importance of being able to interpret it on your own, because tarot is really about tapping into your own inner wisdom. I think like any good spiritual practice, it should be something that feels playful, joyful, something that resonates with you, and something that you can make your own. There shouldn't be a lot of shoulds. Maybe there shouldn't be any shoulds, but we'll give it a try and see. Most decks, well, I'll say I'm using Kim Krantz's The Wild Unknown deck, and pretty much every deck that I've encountered, I would say, I think I can say that confidently, comes with its own guidebook with at least some interpretation of each card, but you can always dig deeper. There's plenty of reference books, blogs, YouTube channels. I'll link to a few of my favorites below. So with that, we are going to dive into our spread for the harvest moon. Okay, so the spread that we're going to do today is one that I came up with for the harvest moon. It is not like so ingenious and unique and interesting that I don't think anybody else has ever done it before. So you may have seen it, you may have not, but the great thing about the 3-card spread is that you can assign different meanings to the 3 different positions. And so for today, we're going to say the first card is going to be, what have I sown in this past season? There may be things that we are putting out there and we didn't realize it, right? Things that we have been quietly cultivating and nurturing with or without our intention and awareness. And so it can be nice to bring some awareness to that. The next is going to be, what am I harvesting in this season? And that can also be, in support of your gratitude practice, thinking about what am I bringing in that I can pay attention to. And the third card is, what can I allow to lay fallow in this coming season? So we're going to reflect on what we've sown, what we're harvesting, and what we can just let be for now. So we have our deck here. And the way that I was taught to shuffle is that you hold your deck in your dominant hand and you shuffle into your non-dominant hand. And just to kind of keep things simple, I don't typically read reversals in my personal practice. And so I don't think we need to do that here. It can add some like great layers to your practice, but just to keep things simple and beginner friendly, we're just going to read uprights for today. So I have all my cards going the same direction, and so when I draw them, they'll be upright. You just shuffle, holding your questions. If you just want to do one of those card positions, you would just think about that one. And whenever you feel like you've shuffled to your heart's content, I'm going to put these together, and then you're going to cut the deck. Just pay attention to, if there's a particular place where it seems like it kind of wants to come apart, and you could cut it once or twice. So we have like our 3 piles here. Put it back together this way. So now we have it here. I guess I'll move it off to the side. And then, what have I sown in this past season? Starting with the star. What am I harvesting? This is the Hierophant. I think that's how it's pronounced, the Hierophant. And then, what is mine to lay fallow, or what am I being invited to lay fallow? The Daughter of Wands. And so I would encourage you, before you even look at any reference materials, take a look and see what stands out to you, because this is your reading and it's about tapping into your own intuition. And sometimes when I'm introducing people to tarot, I talk about that trick where, you know, if you're not sure, yes or no, or this or that, you can flip a coin and say, you know, heads is this and tails is that. And if you get one and you're relieved that was what happened, then you know that that's really what you were hoping for. Maybe you just weren't able to admit that to yourself, or didn't want to, or it just needed some clarity, but the clarity is the resonance. Or maybe you get the opposite, and maybe you're disappointed in the outcome, and then you have that information. And this is really about information. If you get a card and it just truly does not resonate with you, it doesn't have to. There's no right or wrong. And again, there shouldn't be any shoulds with this. This is about reflecting, taking a moment to tap into your inner wisdom, and the cards are a tool to help you do that. It can be helpful for that reason to read with someone who knows you well. And we can just take a look and think about, like, what are some things to consider? Are there any images here? Well, you're going to be looking at your own reading. Are there any images that really stand out to you? Are there any images that you're put off by? It doesn't mean good or bad, right? There's no value judgment there. It's just to think about it, right? Are you very drawn to this? Are you curious about it? Do a deep dive on the card. Think about it. Sit with it for a while. Put it out on your counter, your altar, or take a picture of it and make it the background on your phone for the week. And just let it speak to you in different ways. Okay, so if I was going to do just like a quick overview of looking at these cards for myself, I would start with the star. What have I sown in this past season? And to me, the star is just like this card of goodness. It'll probably be backwards for you now. I love stars. I am a huge proponent of stargazing. I'm getting outside the city and just gazing at the night sky and letting kind of the bigness of the universe envelop me. And so I love getting this card. And I think in terms of what I've sown, I think about relationships. I think about really close friendships that I've been intentional with. I think about how I've been trying to rely more on other people and not just on myself, and invite others in and accept help from other people. And so when I think about like the star card, I think about goodness. When I think about what goodness I have sown, it's really relationship oriented most recently. The Hierophant. This is really about like gurus, masters, teachers, learning. This is engaging in learning. So if I'm looking at that for me right now, I'm wondering in like what I'm harvesting, is that my own leadership and my own role as a leader and a spiritual healer, spiritual guide, or is this about like the learning that I'm doing through this process of starting my business? I'm not sure. I would spend a little bit more time with that one, probably read a few different interpretations, look at Contemporary Tarot, who I often reference, and she calls it, that's Madeline is the one who has that YouTube channel. I'll link it below. But she does a great kind of like Cliff's Notes on every card. And yeah, I would spend some time with that and think about like, do I think that this is me being represented here? Do I think this is other teaching that I'm submitting myself to? But again, it doesn't need to be a right or wrong answer. It's just to consider. And then finally, we have the Daughter of Wands, who I love. If you get into your tarot practice and just play around with your deck, maybe draw a card a day or a week and just get to know the cards, you'll start to see themes in different seasons. And this is a card that has come up for me over and over the years. And it's interesting to me that this is in the position of laying fallow here, because to me, this is about bursts of energy. This is start a wellness practice. This is start the project that you've been putting off. And I am wondering because it has been such a busy season and I've been embracing a ton of change, if maybe for me this is the next coming season, right? Looking into the harvest moon, maybe that season is one moon cycle, right? About 28 days. Maybe the season is fall. Maybe the season is the rest of this calendar year as I look into the deepening darkness and preparing for winter. So in some ways, time will tell. And I think that maybe the big upheaval, the big changes, it may be time to pause some of those, live in the reality of what I've put in motion, and see where that leads me without continuing to create additional changes, additional newness, launches, and things like that, which would be really nice, I think. So let me know how your spread goes. Again, you can do any one of these 3 cards. You could do all 3 of them, 2 of them, mix them around. The great thing about the 3-card spread is that you can assign different meanings to different positions. You can do that with any spread that you like. I'm all about, making this practice work for you. So let me know what you find out. You can subscribe for more content for at-home practices around the full and dark moons. And I'll put a link in the description also for my monthly newsletter with even more content. Thanks so much.